So I wanted to talk about the COPPA, COOPA, I believe. It is like a Children's Protection Act or something like that. But here on YouTube, it's a bigger deal now. The information I got, I'm getting from, his name is Ian Corzine. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description because he's a social media lawyer and he makes it very plain about what's going on. But basically, I did a reading a long time ago about cookies, about the web cookies. And basically what they are, just little pockets of data that one website sends to another one to tell them what you've been doing. And mind you, web cookies are also when you go to buy something on Amazon or you go to buy something on whatever website and they click in the name field and then all your information pops up. Cookies do that too. Deleting the cookies and clearing the cache will clear all that out of there, but it helps. It makes life a little more convenient. And this is why when you go to Nike.com and you search for shoes and then you go to Facebook, there's a shoe ad there because Nike sent information to Facebook saying, hey, this person likes shoes. I bought an ad on your website. So show my ad for shoes to that person once more. Because they're tracking everything you do is tracked by something or someone. We know that part. Okay. So YouTube also does this. They track what you watch. They track what you watch elsewhere. So when you come over here, you can continue to watch things like it. And so they have been passing this data along, personal data, whatever you put in there, that personal data is passed along to other people. They collect it and do whatever companies do once they collect all your information. So there was the Child Protection Act that basically said you cannot target kids for this collection, for taking their information. Now mind you, if your child is on YouTube, it's because you let them. You let them put whatever information that is in there because you let them. Now, YouTube collects that data. They didn't find something that child is watching. They find an ad for it or whatever, and they take those ads and they put it in the video or put it at the beginning of the video so that child is targeted by YouTube's collection of data. So that child is on YouTube. They were watching whatever they were watching. YouTube collected that information and then brought you an ad or brought you some content that matched what you were watching. Now, the advocacy groups, they said that this is wrong because you should not be targeting. What they consider children is 13 years or under, that you should not be targeting YouTube. So back in 2013, an amendment was passed in what lawyers call persistent web identifiers, which is cookies. Persistent web identifiers is a hardcore way of tracking everything you do. And so back in 2013, that was put into law that you could not do this. YouTube says they didn't do it, that they were not doing this after the 2013 amendment. They said they were not tracking children's behavior online. 2018, that's when the advocacy group came forward and said, YouTube is lying. They are tracking your children. And so the FTC then sues YouTube because this advocacy group came forward and said YouTube is lying. They are tracking your kids. YouTube said they weren't back in 2013 when that amendment was passed about not tracking the kids. They said they weren't doing it. Advocacy group came forth 5 years later. YouTube is sued the next year. Or that year. They settled this year. So in 2018, the lawsuit or the complaint was filed by the group. The FTC then sues YouTube. They sued YouTube because the amendment was in 2013. It says you cannot track children's, you cannot target children, is what it says. You cannot target children with ads and contents and that type of thing. Or ads and stuff to try to sell them something and collect their information. You can't do that. And so YouTube, per occurrence, gets fined $42,530. So their total lawsuit was $170 million. $42,000 per occurrence. $170 million altogether. That's what YouTube had to pay to the FTC for marketing to children under 13 years old by collecting their data. So now, instead of taking this up with the FTC, YouTube, when they smelled smoke in the house, they knocked the whole house down instead of dealing with the fire. So now they have gone to blanket, and every single YouTube channel now has to say whether or not their content is targeted towards children. Because if it is, you could possibly face a $42,530 fine. You could. Because YouTube basically told the FTC, you can come and sweep our website anytime you want to see if someone's in violation. If they're in violation, go after them. That's what YouTube said. YouTube did not give you some blanket of protection. They said if your channel targets children and you did not say so, you get fined $42,530. You do. Per occurrence. So if you have a channel out there and there is a subject matter, there is an identifier on your channel that you did not know appealed to children 13 years and under, you can get fined $42,000 because you did not say that this video was for kids. So, the compliance issue. January 1st, 2020 is when this goes into effect. This is how you comply. Or this is some of the identifiers to whether it's about kids or not. Subject matter. This was one of the biggest and most important. Simply because there are channels out there, and this guy Ian, I'll try to link his thing in the description because he makes it much plainer than I am. But his example was, there's a guy, I think the channel may be called What's Inside, but the videos are called What's Inside. It's a father and his son. They cut things open to see what's inside, which is awesome because here's this child. You know, children are brand new to the world. They are the sponges of curiosity. He's feeding his child's curiosity, and he now maybe can impart some science or something. I've never seen it, but this is a great thing. That channel could go away because it is targeting children. Now, if he says this is for kids, then he's fine. But there are some restrictions. We'll get to those. So subject matter, really big. That's how you know if this is for kids, whether or not there's a kid in it. Can still be for kids. So if you have children and you have a YouTube channel, they need to be elsewhere. Animated characters and visuals. If there's an animated character in your video, that can be considered targeted towards children. Incentives. This is probably like loot boxes and things like that, to where even though they're not technically geared towards children 13 years and under, they can be conceived that way. Music or audio. Celebrities or children celebrities. The ages of the people in the video. Whether the ads that play on your video that you have no control over are targeted towards children. If the ad that plays on your channel targets children, you can be fined because you're out of compliance. Now, compliance issues. January 1st, 2020. There will be no comments on any channel that has contents for kids. No comments whatsoever. No info cards and no in-screen annotations. The info cards is like sometimes you'll watch a video and right up at the top it'll have that like little I or the letter I, and then something will pop up and says click on here for whatever. And then the thing that pops up on your screen at the end of a person's video is the in-screen annotations. Cannot have either of those. There is no community tab. You cannot have a community tab. You cannot have a notification bell. So there will be no notification bell. You cannot click to watch this later. So you cannot save the video to watch it later. And this is the biggest one. There is possibly no ad revenue, because you cannot have personalized ads. Personalized ads are tracked ads. That's what this whole thing is about. Personalized ads are, the reason y'all keep seeing Trump ads on my channel is because you watch political things. So that's called personalized ads. So since you're watching political things, they're going to give you a political ad. If you watch something about jewelry, they're going to give you a jewelry store ad. If you watch something about food, they're going to give you maybe a Burger King ad or something like that. That's the personalized ads. There will be no more of those. So if you have a channel and you got these millions upon millions of subscribers, because what I'm saying is there are adults. There are no children in these videos. Adults. They collect toys, like retro toys, like a Nintendo, like the old school 80s, 90s Nintendo, and Legos from back in the day, or the original Ninja Turtles or something like that. They collect old toys. But since they're toys, that's technically geared towards children. So they can lose ad revenue. They can lose their notification bell. They can lose their comment section. They can lose their personalized ads, which means their revenue will be cut in less than half, probably like an eighth of what they get now. And they can lose a whole lot. No info cards, no comments, no notification bell, no watch later. So that's what's going on now. So this is why, for those out there who have channels, you have to specify whether or not your channel is for children. Your videos are for children. Because if you don't answer that, and YouTube comes along with their new algorithm, because you know how bad the algorithm is now, they have a new one coming in January 1st, 2020, and they see a video on your channel that has characters, that has music, that has celebrities, that has children celebrities is what it's called. The age of the people in the video are 13 years or under. Whether there is an ad focusing on your video that is geared towards children, how you're supposed to get, I don't even know how you're supposed to stop that. Like, you sell the ads, you put them there. I didn't do that. Anyway. But anything, those are the kid identifiers. Any of those things are in your video, you can be fined $42,000, and they can take away your video. So they'll take the video down, and they can delete your channel. So no ad revenue, no channel, no video, and a $42,000 fine. All because YouTube got caught tracking children and selling them content, or selling ads to target them. YouTube gets caught for tracking children, tracking their information, tracking what they do online, Children is deemed 13 years and under. So they're tracking these children's behavior online and then targeting them with ads. And then YouTube, instead of taking the hit, they then say if you have anything that has anything to do with kids in your videos, you can possibly be demonetized and your whole channel could be gone. So that's where we are. So that's why you have to do that. So if you don't want to do it, I understand, but take it seriously because it's a serious thing. Hopefully this helps.